got a bunch of junk we bought from flea market. Little to nothing. Paid hardly nothing for it. This is 2 gas pressure washers, 2 4-strokes, and a 2-stroke leaf blower. 2-stroke leaf blower we found works. Just needed something done to the carburetor. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is we got these 2 pressure washers here. Anybody knows anything about anything, it's almost not worth trying to rebuild the pump on these things. A bunch of plastic parts and valves in them on the pumps, and it's a check valve kit and all that. You get like 6 check valves, spring loaded. Just junk. So we decided to do something different today. We've decided to do something that I have never done before, but I've seen it done. I've seen videos of it done, so I'm going to try to do it myself. What we're going to make here today is we're going to pick one of these. I'm assuming we'll leave the Honda alone. I'll probably get another pump for it. We're going to take that Briggs & Stratton that's outdated, and we're going to take that. Let's get it out. Now we know the motor runs on it. We've already started the motor. You know this little Briggs runs. You can tell it's an old Briggs. I'm going to take this 3000 psi pressure washer, and you can't get a valve kit for this thing no more, so that's good. So what we're going to do is, I ain't worried about the gas, let it leak out. It's probably old anyway. So we're going to pop this pump off here and get rid of it. We'll expose the shaft from here. We'll select a pulley, put it on the shaft, a V-groove pulley. And what we have here is a generator. Now this is off an International harvester. I'm sorry, an International Cub. Farmall. We already have a good one on ours, but this was an extra one here. So you can pick these up for about 70 bucks. You could use different generators. And I never said what we were going to make. I guess you guys, most of you guys know anything about anything, know what I'm getting at here. I think what would be handy is a portable battery charger. Something that wouldn't be like an alternator, because an alternator doesn't put out what a generator puts out. This is a generator, 12 volt DC generator, 14 volts, whatever it puts out. And I know that it spins clockwise. I don't know if it's multi-directional or not, but we'll go find out. But it spins clockwise, so that would determine whether or not I mount it here with a pulley and a belt, or I mount it upside down like this to determine whether I want it to spin clockwise / counterclockwise based on the engine's rotation, Briggs & Stratton's rotation. So I guess that's what our project is. So the first thing we're going to do is get a meter and find out what our wires go to here. I'm just taking a wild guess here, just off the top of my head, and from making previous videos in the past. We're going to probably take this lead right here, which has your fatter cable on it, which is cut. We'll probably strip that back and see if we can't get 12 volts between here and here by spinning it in a clockwise rotation, or at least some voltage. And I'm going to assume that this wire, before we even test it, is probably the excite wire. That either reroutes to ground or reroutes to the positive. So this would be an on-off switch connected to there.
On the tractors, remember that little wire ran to a voltage regulator box.
And inside the voltage regulator is an on-off relay.
Based on how much voltage.
All it is a point contact. When it's gotten too much volts, it disconnects itself.
Seesaws, literally.
Well, it stops you from blowing up the battery. In our case, this is just to roll this thing up, attach to, and what do we have here? Look, some old junker cables, right?
Perfect.
Laying around. Some old stiff, looks like number 6, number 8 jumper, looks like number 6 jumper cables. So we'll cut one end off and get a good end that has some good leads, maybe reconnect these lead clamps, and we'll run it off of that. And this will be our portable battery charger. When doomsday comes, which it looks like it's coming pretty soon, in case you haven't watched the fake news or the real news or whatever you want to call it, we'll be able to roll this thing up and fully independently use a generator to charge a vehicle long enough to get it started if your battery dies. Anywhere, anytime.
This doesn't rely on any electricity.
Not at all. Nothing.
Anywhere.
Nothing but the magneto in there to start it, and that's all momentary. Once it starts, it's done. It's like having a hand crank radio. Doesn't require.
Unaffected by anything.
When it's off, it's unaffected by
catastrophic.
Right. Any EMP or whatever you want to call it. So it would be something handy. Plus, I'm tired of moving vehicles around to charge a battery when one dies. Be a tractor, be a riding lawnmower, be a vehicle, whatever the problem is. So we'll see if we can't turn this little junk apparatus into something useful around the house. Alright. What we're going to do is pull out all the bolts for the engine. I'm going to take the engine off the mount because, like most downshaft pressure washers, the pressure washer's part of the engine plate, or it's an insert. So I'm going to get the 3 bolts out that hold this crap on. Get rid of that. Alright, let's see. Alright, there we go. Now let's see if we can get this out without taking off the oil reservoir for this. There we go. Alright. Let's see what we got here. Alright. Here, what do we got? There we go.
That's it.
Pressure washer unit. Keyway. What's that look like? 5/8 shaft?
Maybe a 3/4.
I don't know. I got pulleys for all sizes, doesn't matter. It's always good to collect pulleys, huh?
I do know that the pumps they sell online are most of them are in 3/4.
3/4 shaft?
Except for Honda. Honda engines use a smaller,
Shaft?
no, not smaller, a bigger shaft.
1 inch?
7/8.
Alright, stop for a minute. Alright, so we got the pump off, like we showed you before. We got the engine mounted back on it. Took about a few seconds. Got the 3 bolts in. Got the shaft sticking down low enough, which is good. It brought us down past this lip, so we don't have to cut into this lip to get a belt through here. We got the clearance for a belt with a pulley, I think. Got to cut this lip, that's fine. Don't care about that. Now next up.
We gotta see which way this engine rotates now.
Yeah, that's true, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna pull it. Which way is it?
It's turning the other way, counterclockwise.
Seriously?
Yeah, it is. Yep, that's counterclockwise.
Is it?
Yep.
I got oil from turning it upside down in a cylinder.
Well, that shouldn't be a problem. It just means we gotta mount it a different way.
Alright, so that's counterclockwise.
On a clockwise
This
turn.
rotates right here. Clockwise. Get off of it. Clockwise. Right?
Yeah.
So how would we do that? Let's see. Clockwise. If we put it on there like this, and that spins counterclockwise, and it's going to spin that counterclockwise. It's gonna
Yeah,
go,
because you're inverting directions, right?
well, I'm trying to see if we turn it upside down, we'll invert it. I could mount it sideways and have the belt twist, but I hate twisted belt machines. They vibrate too much when the belt gets loose. Let's see.
Now think about it as like a getting a bolt from the top side versus getting a bolt from the bottom side.
Let's see.
Remember?
Counterclockwise, it's rotating this way, so it's trying to spin me this way. So what if I turned it?
Yeah.
What if I turned it upside down like this? What would happen?
So that'll be turning counterclockwise this way, and turning it that way, which in turn is
Clockwise.
clockwise. Okay, so we mount it that way.
So that's clockwise, and it'll be turning counterclockwise here, right?
Yeah.
So upside down, right?
Upside down, yeah.
Hey, what if?
Ooh, that would be perfect if we could get it like that.
Wouldn't it be nice? Then a bracket here and bracket there, and
Then the wood
bracket
machine,
everywhere, bracket here, and then a bracket around. But we need to be able to adjust this for belt tightness. Get down. All right, it'll work. So upside down is the way we need to mount. Now we need to see if we can get, since this thing is old and used, and I was stop, and it was sold to me, and I don't know if it works. The next stage would be to test it, right?
Yeah.
Let's see if we get any voltage at all. Right? Clockwise, right?
Yes.
Set your meter on. Go to DC. You can stop until we get ready to test. Hold on. What we got here?
0.12 when you're spinning it.
Alright.
And when you stop spinning it, it drops back down.
Alright, we're just getting it. Try this to ground. Maybe the excite wire is to ground. Hold it there. I gotta spin it.
Perfect zero. Okay. So while spinning.
Yeah. Get a better ground. Ground to the chassis.
There we go.
Alright, I'm getting up there. That's just hand spinning. Okay. What we did was we dug in the junk pile, and we have a lot of pulleys that are 3/4 inch, but I want to save them. We do have this pulley that come off of a tiller, I think. It was centrifugal. That's kind of a brake shoe pad in there for a centrifugal pulley. We've determined that's 3/4 inch, and it's aluminum, and it's in the junk pile, and all this is junk. So to make something, I don't see using a $40 cast iron pulley to put on here. Now I know this is going to be close to 1-to-1 ratio, but that's okay, because this engine's spinning up pretty high. It's probably what we're going to need under a load anyway.
This will be putting out a 20 amp.
I don't know how many amps, but I just know this. We'll figure that out later. Now, the thing is, we have to pull the keyway out. We'll save that, because on the other side here of the shaft, let me go this way, is a Woodruff key hole. And the Woodruff key is skinnier than the actual keyway. And that's what we need right here. A skinny slot to fit on there good. And we'll get us a washer put back here. How tight can it go? Oh, it looks like it stops itself. It bottoms out. We'll stick a washer in there. Then we'll put it on, and we'll keep it away from the engine about right there. Then we'll put a bolt through here, and that'll be a done deal. Right?
Yeah.
So all we need is a Woodruff key. So go search the truck, see if we got a Woodruff key. Alright, that's pretty tight. We got our Woodruff key. Can't say it was a perfect fit, but it's close. See, that side was too wide. Okay, we got our Woodruff key in there. Woodruff key is a 1/4 moon, like this. That's too small. You can get all this junk from Harbor Freight, big old package of it, which is something we did a long time ago.
Rocking the same package since a few years now. Huh.
What?
Woodruff key.
You don't use them very often. Alright, let's see. We need a washer to fit in there to bring us out on the shaft. And we need a bolt with this thread pattern right here. Look. What's that look like to you?
Medium thread.
Medium metric?
Not sure.
Fine thread metric?
Finer than coarse. I'd say medium.
Finer than coarse. Well,
I'd say medium.
alright. With some trash used bolts here, which is good. A nice fine thread bolt. It is a fine thread. I think it's a standard lawnmower blade bolt. We got us a washer here.
Very tight fit.
Is that a tight fit?
Yeah.
Oh well, we'll see how tight it really is. Still in there? Alright. get this lined up. That's it, it's the bottom out.
Yeah, using the washer.
Alright. Then we got a washer and a lock washer, and we got a fine thread bolt, right? Let's try that. We don't have much sticking through, but pretty good. Alright, no cross thread. Let's tighten that joker up.
About a 1/2 inch, huh?
Probably, yeah. Look at that, we got a pulley now.
Yeah.
Let's see. Where's the, give me that ratchet.
That's that. These are the socket.
That don't fit.
Here's the socket.
Okay. 9/16.
16, huh?
Yeah. That bolt you found was a 9/16. There we go. That ought to do it.
Just move back and forth?
No, that's just the crank.
Oh, yeah.
Alright. Now we get to the rest. Let's go get an automotive belt. What's the shortest automotive belt we can find in the shed? Alright, go find one. We'll come back. Looks like this is the only belt we could find in the old garage. Looks like a 15.3. I can't read that. But anyway, that's a
1496 9.
Yeah, 9. Anyway, this is a pollution pump belt for a 2.6 liter Isuzu or Honda 2.6 liter. Probably came off of a 1990 Trooper 4-cylinder 2.6 liter Isuzu. And that's a small pollution pump belt. Pretty short belt. I'm gonna guess and say that's what it came off of.
The tractor belt's also about that short too.
Yeah, well, you know.
For the generator. Maybe even a bit shorter.
I don't know about that. Let's see what we got here. Look at that. Alright. So we would need to come out about that far. Stay out of the way of the spark plug there so we can change that spark plug. Maybe we can come over here. Can we still change the plug? No, not as easy. Right here is probably better. And this gives us a different mount. Maybe we can put the, let's see, maybe we do it this way.
If mounted like that, the leads will be exposed, so
what?
So that'd be good. Sort of.
We don't need the leads exposed necessarily, we just don't need them shorting out against the engine.
Yeah, so they gotta be spaced like that, yeah.
If we did it like that, either way, it'd be fine. We could access the, what you call it there. What do we got here? A bolt hole?
Yep.
Really? Well, how about if we use that?
With threads inside of it.
Yeah, we have a factory bolt that comes off of. How about we keep that?
Yeah, and use it on a plate down there?
No, use it for an adjustment to tighten the belt.
Ah, nice.
Put it like that, and then pull it that way to tighten it. How's that? Something like that. And come up to tighten. Sound good?
Yeah.
Alright. We could cut this flap out of the way right here. This is obviously going to get in our way.
Pretty thick.
So it might actually be beneficial.
Instead, bend it up, huh?
Yeah, I would think so.
To use it as a mounting surface.
Pretty serious. I don't want to bend the whole thing up. I don't want to make it weak. This serves as a source of support. You know what? It'd be better if we cut it.
You think
here,
so?
and here, and then bend that up.
Okay.
What do you think?
To notch it up for a belt? Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright.
Keep this thing stable, right?
Yep.
How about that? Yeah, okay. Now, this son of a bitch is heavy. Cast iron. Alright. It's welded here. I'm sorry, it's
Bolted, right?
bolted here.
Yep, right there. I'll drill a hole in that, and then, got a nut and a bolt for that.
Yeah, I don't know. How's the belt line up? Not gonna come off, huh?
Nah, that's pretty straight. Pretty straight.
I'm holding it at an angle, so.
Still, yeah, pretty straight. I can imagine when it's bolted down, it might.
Alright, we need more strength here.
Yeah. So, yeah, how do we get more strength?
That's easy, a flat bar right here.
Yeah.
Let the flat bar extend out a little bit and we'll bolt through that. How's that?
Okay, yeah, yeah.
Alright, let's do it. Alright, we got some bad news and some good news. The bad news is we miscalculated the way that the generator should spin. The good news is we've rectified the problem before we've done any serious modifications. So, the generator will sit here, which is kind of nice because it makes the machine look uniform. We did have to cut a little bit more this way because we're going to put it this way. Now, we got some cheap flat bar that was used, holes drilled in it, and we got some nuts, very primitive, and we clamped it down, and we're not even going to grind any of the paint away. We're going to weld right through it. Matter of fact, when we do weld it, since they have so many safety Nazis on YouTube and other sites, we're not even going to worry about the gasoline that's leaking out of the gas tank right here when we weld. If it catches on fire, it catches on fire.
Back away and let it do its thing.
We'll just pour some water on it. Alright, so let's get ready to weld. So we got max on, we got the gas leaking here, it's kind of stopped. We got the cheap Harbor Freight welder, so you know it's going to be a nasty, ugly weld if we don't burn holes all through this cheap sheet metal. So this is what we're going to do, because we really just want to see if this works. Look at other people. I don't edit too much in my videos and censor out my mistakes because I believe people should learn from their mistakes. So, you know, if you're looking for other videos where people want to make their videos look top-notch and they don't want to leave themselves open for criticism and they want to have everything just right and they edited out the video to make everything perfect, like they're perfect and they've done a perfect job, well, that's just not realistic. It's 25 degrees out here right now. Forgive me if my brain doesn't think exactly like it's supposed to.
Hey man, shit happens, right?
Yeah, it all happens. Anyway, this is America. This is a home where you can do things like this for now. Alright, let's get to welding. And then you don't have to show them the entire weld, but wow, I didn't clean the paint good enough to even strike up an arc. Guess I should have grinded it down, huh? Come on.
That sucks because we got it in the right position too.
Come on, Betty. Maybe I should get some of that gas and clean some of this paint off. What do you think? There we go. Let me know if I catch on fire, right? 'Cause I have this shield and I won't be able to see much.
Here thing. I can watch through this phone and I won't blind myself.
What the hell was that?
The nut fell off.
Oh, that's great.
Right, we gotta
Cut.
reposition it.
Cut.
Ew.
Ouch. My eyes.
Fun fact, if you're using a phone, you don't have to look at the arc weld directly. Just don't hold your phone too close to it. So you can look at it without looking at it.
I think I cut through it pretty nice. Let's see. Bet it looks like a gorilla snot weld when I'm done. Okay, so the next step is you want to get your generator there lined up.
Got that one welded.
Get your generator lined up. Set your nut to where you want it to be. Ah, shit.
Okay, yeah.
Next step is
Turn the camera off. And
no, you can leave the camera on. Take a tape measure. There you go. Here's your tape measure, right?
Yeah. When you just don't feel like getting the tape measure out.
Alright, so we're going to the end of the ridges right here.
Gotcha.
So our nut needs to be somewhere right here.
I see
Now,
that.
I want to leave space there so I can adjust the generator up and down. Right?
Yeah.
So where was it? To the ridges?
Yeah, to the end of the ridges right there, probably.
Right. So I want to start.
A little bit of space, right?
I want to leave space like that. Right?
Good. So then you got that.
That's where I want to weld it.
If we get a marker, use your screwdriver.
Alright. Next up, take the sawzall with the bent blade. Okay.
Nice.
Now,
You will.
yeah, hold on a second. You like that ugly weld. It's great, doesn't it?
Thank you, I'm free.
Harbor Freight is junk. Absolute junk. I wouldn't sell a Harbor Freight welding machine to my next door neighbor. Actually, I wouldn't sell it to my worst enemy. I like my next door neighbor. Alright. That was about straight with the eye.
That's all it needs to be, right? It's big nuts.
Yeah, there's plenty of space for it to move around and then tighten down on it. Let's see. That look about straight to you?
Yeah,
Somewhere in that ballpark, right?
somewhere.
Alright.
Well, this ain't a piano we're building. It's just a portable generator.
Portable DC
Now wait a second.
jump start generator.
Now that you say it, I wonder if that would run an inverter.
It would, but
Would it?
you wouldn't want to do that. Not with this. You would want to build something more stable and long term.
Yeah.
This is more like a short run. Because think about it, the generator that we're using has factory oil ports. It was meant to mount side shaft. So how are we going to keep that lubricated for long term running?
Right.
I mean, I am going to take it out and grease it. Take it apart and grease the bearings or the sleeves.
Instead of oil.
Yeah, instead of putting motor oil inside of them. And that'll last a long time just for momentary starting and charging. Realistically, you would want to do something like that. You wouldn't want to do this. You would want to use a side shaft engine for something that was meant to sit sideways. But in this case,
This is all we had.
it's just an experiment and it's for fun. And if it happens to work out great, then good. So, let's put the nasty Harbor Freight weld back on it. Come on. Should have used a fatter extension cord. couldn't justify taking the Lincoln out of the shed.
This is all we're welding? Yeah.
Maybe I will justify it if this keeps happening. Give me that rod over there. Thank you. Great. As you can see, we got our crappy mount, and right now I'm trying to devise. Look, our belt's in line. Belt's in line, good enough. This could be better, but it's good enough. And now we need to devise. Let me see that spacer. See if we have enough to use this as a spacer here.
For the adjustment, right?
Right.
Which we already have a bowl for, so that's good.
So we need to drill a hole right here. Drop, bolt through here. And I'll tighten this up already on here, so we can see. I don't want it to interfere with the belt, so let me come out to about right there. Belt's kind of tight already.
That's all it needs is a third point of strength.
Yeah, just that point, and we're good. And then it'll double up as an adjustment. So I'll just stick a drill bit through here. Look, and then I'll drop a spacer.
Yeah.
Right there, through that plate, and I'll drop the spacer. Then I'll put a nut, and we'll be done. All right, grab me drill bit, and let's get this done.
Yeah.
Alright, so we managed to just get the right stuff. A little piece of tubing there. Got a lock washer on the back side. Drill the hole right there. And we got our adjustment right here. So now we can adjust the belt. There we go.
Awesome.
There's your apocalyptic battery charger.
How much did this cost us?
Nothing.
Exactly. It looks like it cost us nothing. But hey, you know what? If it works.
It cost us probably the common cold from the condition of the weather outside.
Yeah. Below,
It's 25 degrees, but it's
wet cold.
But it's a wet, nasty cold.
Not a northern cold. Not a Yankee cold.
Not a Yankee cold?
Yeah.
Actually, it's pretty cold over there in Yankeeville. I mean, it's not a western cold. Like
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
desert. Like in the desert.
An Oregon cold?
Well, that's wet and nasty in the valley. It's like a Utah. It's not like a Utah cold.
Yeah, it's all dry. Let's see what we got. Speaking of all dry, how much gas we got in there?
I don't know. Whatever's left over from Welding. Probably mixed with.
See, safety Nazis? It looks like it didn't blow up on us.
No, we put it out before we refilmed. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that's right. I mean,
Alright, hold on a second. Let's see how hard it is to actually pull this thing and get it to start. That's the question.
good point.
So I've seen other people build these, and they got big old pulleys on them, and they can't actually get it started. With a 1-to-1 ratio, it shouldn't be as difficult. Let me down.
Let's spin it.
Spin the shit out of it.
Yeah. And I'll tell you one thing, too.
That was clockwise.
Yeah,
So
that is clockwise.
We did finally get that right.
Yeah. Probably low on gas.
Yeah, it's cold outside too. Put a little gas in it, and maybe we could put a voltage meter on it. See what happens.
Also, when you think about it, it's only whenever it's excited. That means if it's constantly excited, it would bog down the motor. Or engine, sorry.
Right.
So, what if we put a switch up there?
That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
But
Interrupt it.
But we need to. Yeah, we could do that. But I want to. I like the the 1-to-1 ratio, because under a heavy load, it'd be less likely to bog.
Yeah.
I've seen other ones bog out with just alternators. People do this with side shaft and alternators all the time and try to run batteries as a buffer, and then they use power inverters, like high wattage power inverters, you know, to run RVs and stuff, to try to, as an alternative to
But
an
regular generator.
an AC generator, right? So, you know,
Pretty good idea.
You throw like a 140 amp alternator on it, and then, you know.
Imagine if you had a small diesel engine.
Well, yeah, I mean,
there's
videos all over YouTube like that where people have done that.
Small diesel engine with a lot of torque.
Let's get this thing going. Let's get some gas in it. Let's get it running right, and then let's test the leads, and then we'll make our jumper cable leads and all that, and an exciting switch and all that. Switch to excited.
Yeah.
Oh, we tested it just now. We hooked our leads up, our jumper cables, and we hooked them up to the
Got the hot, neutral, and ground to
ground to chassis, and we're using this as the excite wire, and we just ground the excite wire, and it completes the field. But we're getting 33 volts.
33 volts, and
33 volts.
if I'm correct, that's supposed to be a 20 amp generator.
Well, I can say this, for a jump start, it'll really jump start a vehicle.
Yeah.
But
the battery
I wouldn't want it to collide with the alternator
No.
while the vehicle's running, would you?
No way.
So I would probably stick it on the battery just long enough to give it a quick charge, and then we'll test that out later and see what happens. Start it up. Let's see what kind of voltage we're getting.
All right. Technically it works.
It'll do the job.
Yes, it will.
You can roll this around just like this.
So what would you do? Charge this without keeping a car with? Just charge it without trying to start the engine, right?
Probably I wouldn't want this to collide with the alternator.
How would we make this better?
Put an inline voltage regulator. Just a square voltage regulator box.
Like the kind that's on the tractor, huh?
Yeah, they kind of put on tractors.
But with that exact generator right there, too.
Yeah, it wouldn't be difficult, but I wouldn't worry about that. This will do the job charging the battery. Just on there momentarily, long enough to boost the battery up. Not enough to watch the caps explode off the top of the battery. I imagine this voltage will drop once it's set on an alternator. I mean on a battery. Once it's under a load, the voltage will drop.
Makes sense.
The only way to know that is to put it on a battery.
Yeah.
We got enough spare batteries around here to make that test.
Yes.
All right. So we got a dead truck here. It's been dead for about 2 weeks, or about a week, and it's not completely dead, but it's close.
Won't start.
Make sure you demonstrate, huh? Yeah, let me see.
You got it?
Go ahead, try to start it. Put it in neutral.
It's in neutral.
Alright,
Ready?
go. Oh yeah. Try it again.
Dips below 9 volts.
Alright. Turn the key off. Let's try something. Pop the hood. Redneck Charger. Well, we can't say that. It's not politically correct, right? Oh wait, I can say it about myself because, yeah.
Yeah, don't yeah, I'm not gonna go into that.
Yeah, you can make that statement.
Especially
All right, so we got a nice never start here. Here, hold up.
kind of an old never start too, huh?
No, it ain't old. It's just been sitting with the alarm set so long it's not driven. And I have the excite wire already attached to the ground. See, just shoved in there because I haven't hooked up the switch yet. So let's see what happens.
Stand back.
What the hell?
Oh yeah, what the hell's right?
That's a lot of juice for a battery that. Look at that, it's trying to spin the alternator. Check it out. Holy.
Whoa.
That's funny. Alright,
So
hook up the voltage regulator. I mean the, sorry. Hook this up. Take your pins, turn it on, put it on 20 volts or 200 volts.
yeah, so it can read.
So we can get a good reading in there. Okay. Take it and jam it in there right here. Okay.
Okay, negative.
Alright, I'll jam this in there. Why do we have 11 volts here? We should be starting.
11.2.
I don't see why it's not starting.
It's not 12.
I don't care. 11.2. Well, maybe we got a dead cell in this battery or something. This might make a good YouTube video. Might actually be the first time I've seen a car battery explode in a long time. What do you think?
Like, god damn it, there it goes.
Alright, you know what? I'm gonna remove this excite wire.
Yeah, go ahead. That might be what's causing the spark.
Alright, let's try it now. Nope. It isn't.
Still trying.
Still trying.
It's back feeding, but it's not reversed.
It is back feeding.
It ain't reversed though, that's the funny thing about it.
Well, I think we did something wrong. I think we hooked up something wrong, friend.
Like what?
I don't know. That's strange. I think we better go back to the drawing board before we do this.
Yeah, maybe.
Back to the drawing board. Let's take a chance. Let's jam that excite wire back in there. Let's keep our whatchamacallit hooked up here. Watch this. Okay.
Alright, we're at 11.2.
At 11.2? Okay. Now we got our ground here, right?
Yeah.
Start this hillbilly thing up. Oh,
Okay.
good. Good.
Still the same. 16.
Oh, look, it's charged the battery.
Oh shit, yeah. Quickly.
Charging the shit out of that battery.
Yeah, I'm trying to step back. 17.1. 0.2. On, it's equalizing. 12.3. Dude, that battery is hot right now.
Oh, it is.
Is it equalizing like that fast?
Nah, it's normal. Alright, you know what?
Try it now,
We'll
huh?
try to start that truck.
Let's see if that did it. That'd be cool if it is.
Go.
A few seconds of a charge.
Shit. Alright. Good.
Let's see what we got. Anything in the fan?
Come on, start it. My hand's in the fan. Just kidding.
Here we go. Dude, trying.
Really? Alright. Lay off.
Alright, that wasn't enough.
Alright, let's try it some more.
Ready?
Yeah. Come on. Here, hold this. Let's try again. Alright.
Right there.
Start this junk.
Alright, here we go.
Let's go.
start to smoke.
Well, the tops of the batteries will fly off with the hood and acid will be on your face. You'll have sulfuric acid melting your skin off. No big deal.
I think you were close.
You'll look like the guy from RoboCop who got ran over through a toilet.
Nice.
No, he actually got ran over by a Suck 2000. Alright, what's the voltage?
17.2.
How's that generator look?
That's good.
That's smoking?
I was trying to turn with the exhaust is smoking now.
No, it's 25 degrees out there. That's
Yeah. Something's happening with that. Voltage is varying. It's going from 13.1 to 16.9. Up and down, up and down.
That's a digital meter. Sensitive like that. Like everybody else today. If it was an analog meter, nobody would care. The world should go back to analog.
Take the hot lead off, the engine got easier to spin.
Alright, go give it a start.
There you go.
Come on, jump in there. We're already taking up YouTube's time.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Redneck battery charger. Oh, let it run. It's another useful tool in the hillbilly arsenal. Back again in the daytime. It's not 25 degrees anymore. And so now what we're going to do is wire us a manual voltage regulator. The voltage regulator is going to be your finger. So, got some pretty heavy gauge wire here. I think this is it's a little bit thicker than number 12, I think. It's stranded. We're going to run it to here. This is our main power lead right here. We'll run it to our main power lead. Washer and a nut. And then we'll come back in a second and show you what we're doing. On our second wire here, we're going to connect this to field to ground. We're going to connect it to ground permanently. We're not going to use it for a voltage regulator. Normally this would hook to a voltage regulator to cut this on and off. That's not what we're going to do today. We're going to permanently connect it. And what we're going to do is put an interrupter switch between, a 30 amp interrupter switch between the hot lead here. So the battery won't backfeed the motor until we flip the switch.
Hook it up first.
So once the engine's running, flip the switch, charge the battery, kill the switch, we're safe. We can connect both terminal leads without trying to backfeed the motor like we saw last night.
Yeah. And then you can see if the vehicle start up. If not, charge it some more.
Right. Alright.
Without having to disconnect the terminals.
Right. Okay. Okay. So we got 3-position switch. We got off, on, off, or off in the middle. We'll use this screw. Okay. Or this one, whichever one's stronger. And this is a center position pin. So okay. So what would go here is our blue wire that we routed down to the bottom of the generator right here. So blue wire is bringing in power, and then we're going to interrupt it here in the center, and we're going to spit it back out through the positive lead of the jumper cable by clicking it. So everything down is off, in the middle's off, and then up would be on, because we don't have another switch handy that can handle 30 amps DC. We just happened to pick this up at Pep Boys, I don't know, years and years ago, using it for something else. Alright, so we got our switch hooked up here. Off, off, charge. And that should carry 30 amps. Off, off. Good. Okay, so that just completes the circuit from the generator to the jumper cables.
Positive is going up through blue, huh?
Yeah, positive's running up through blue, it's jumping in to interrupt right here through the switch, and we'll zip tie this down, make it look pretty, and then it's good. And then
We also tightened the belt too, huh?
a little bit, and then we'll get to stretch these over to charge, and then we'll put a screen cage right over this to stop the jumper cables from falling into the fan belt, right?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
A piece of diamond wire.
Yeah.
I got several pieces of diamond wire.
Stretch it over
I
the
could
top.
put some washers and self-tap it down, and then curve bend it down, and then tuck underneath, and then screw it to it.
Yeah.
Alright?
Yes, we can.
It'll be done, and it can all breathe, and nothing's going to overheat, and yeah. And we just wasted a lot of time, but no money. Actually, it didn't take that long.
No, not really. All the time went into just prepping everything for film, pretty much.
Yeah, if we wouldn't have had to film, we would have had this thing over with in an hour, maybe an hour and a half.
With everything that was in the backyard? Yeah. Oh yeah, including that. The chewed up extension cord.
Damn bull terriers.
Chew up an extension cord, looks like that came in use.
So I'm going to keep that like that. That's how that's going to look. Pull it over the vehicle, and then pick it up, and unclamp it, and stretch it around, put it on. I wish I had a little bit longer cables, but you know what? I can't complain.
Battery's right there.
It'll reach a pretty high vehicle. And then you can always go to the side of the vehicle. And I don't have to depend on a battery charger and an extension cord in case we ever lose power.
Nothing that'll get fried in that type of situation either.
You don't have to deal with any of that. We're fully self-sufficient with and capable of charging a battery. And like I said, if I ever want to get fancy with a voltage regulator, then we could toss a battery somewhere under here with a little plate, weld a plate, stick a battery under here, maybe a deep cycle. Or we could have a inverter attached to it
Little tool generator.
for, yeah. And stop this plastic piece of junk cover from rattling. I'll probably take this thing off. There's no reason to have this fancy thing on here.
The rest of it don't look that fancy.
No, we just clean it up, and you can put some paint on it if you want to. Most people would understand. I mean, if I had just a regular two toggle switch, 30 amp, that would have been ideal. But you know what? It beats you trying to use a light switch. And, but
Yeah.
you could use a light switch, but it would have to be a 20 amp light switch.
Most of 15,
a
right?
household 20 amp light switch.
Yeah, most of 15 amp, right?
Right, but you can get a heavy duty 20 amp, and you can even get higher than that if you get the black industrial ones from Home Depot.
Yeah, some of them are 30.
And you can mount yourself a little weather box here, all fancy, with a little switch. I mean, you could do
It
that.
still look hillbilly-ish.
Well, it would still work.
That actually looks pretty good, I think, right there.
No,
Dedicated DC switch.
No,
I mean, if it works.
It doesn't look good. It just works, and that's what's important, right?
Yeah.
But if you think it looks good, it's all in the eye of the beholder, right?
One fancy man sees this as a trash hillbilly special. The other man sees
You know what?
it
I'm
as
tired of using that word hillbilly and redneck. I'm not going to use that anymore. I'm going to exempt that from my vocabulary. So, why don't we just cut that video and then we'll do a little test on the ground.
Yeah.
Go ahead and go. I'm going to start this thing up. And then I'll start it first and then I'll wait a few seconds or a second and click it on. See if it jumps up to 33 amps or 33 volts. Oh, forgot to prime these old engines. There we go. It's all done. Put a steel cover over it we found in the junk pile. Threw some black paint on it real quick. And put a nice big offensive sticker on the top of the engine. Rename Briggs & Stratton. Yeah, I think we're ready to go now. Ready to charge some batteries. Now we just need some dead batteries. It should start right up.